It's like a slip and slide. Let's get another mouse. Today for Mousetrap Monday, we're going to see how many mice we can catch in the barn with the Cowboy coffee can mousetrap. Now, I first saw this mousetrap at the Smithsonian Museum. On their website, they have an example with a story of how cowboys would try to catch mice with whatever they had around the chuck wagon. This is a can that holds 20 pounds of coffee, and in the 1970s, a cowboy modified it with a lid that tilts to catch mice. It looked like a fun idea, and it's an example of how people will use whatever they have to make mousetraps. There's so many different variations of mousetraps, everything from elaborate manufactured ones to homemade ones, and I'm curious if it actually works. Now, because the original trap's in the Smithsonian Institute, I had to make my own. So I went to eBay and I found an exact match of the coffee can. But there's no instructions and all I have is one picture for a reference. So let's go to the shop and see if we can make a working Cowboy coffee can mousetrap. Here's our metal can that holds 20 pounds of coffee. Cowboys drink a lot of coffee on the trail, and our first step in making our mousetrap is to remove the metal lid. To do that, I'm going to use a Dremel tool. Now that we have the top removed, we're going to install the top for the trap floor. It's going to balance like this. It's heavier on this side, so it'll always go back to the set position. I'm going to drill a hole and put a rod through here, but I got to find a good balance point. One that's heavier on this side, but when a mouse steps on it, it will dunk them. Okay, building this thing has been trial and error, but I think I have a good balance point. We have holes and a rod, so I'll install it there to catch the mice. As you can see, I added some tabs, so when this dunks the mice, it won't over-rotate and it'll go back to the set position. It seems like we have a good balance, but first we need to test it out with our pet mice to see if it works. Now, I don't want our pet mice to get hurt when they drop down, so I'm going to give them a soft landing with some fabric. We'll place some peanut butter right here in the middle to draw them down. Let's see if our spotted mouse will show us how this Cowboy coffee can mousetrap works. It's like a slip and slide. Let's get another mouse. We'll try our black mouse with a white belly. It works well, and finally we'll try Goldie. Well, I think we got it figured out, but I'm curious if we can catch wild mice in the barn. Let's go set up the motion cameras and see if we can catch them in the Cowboy coffee can mousetrap. Well, as you can see from all the peanut butter on the lid that's been licked off, the mice have been busy. They tried to get the bait, went past the breaking point, and dropped down in the bottom of the can. Now there were a few mice that held on the edge and didn't get caught, but for the most part it worked well, especially for a recycled makeshift mousetrap. When these mice tried to escape, they jumped up on the lid and fell back down. So if you were a cowboy on the trail and you didn't want rodents eating your food in the chuck wagon, this was a good option. Now I'm gonna go ahead and pull out this lid right here so we can see our catch. What we have are 4 mice. Now the native deer mice are part of the ecosystem, so I'm gonna let them go. But the non-native invasive house mouse, it can't let it go. Instead, I'm gonna humanely dispatch it with the CO2 and feed it to wild animals. So I'm gonna take out the non-native invasive house mouse right there, and then we're gonna let these deer mice go. Okay, native deer mice, come on out of there. This last one's being much more shy. Come on out of there. Well, our friend the skunk at the compost pile enjoyed the one non-native invasive mouse we caught with the Cowboy coffee can mousetrap. Overall, it's a very clever idea, especially since they made it with items they had. It's kind of like a walk the plank, but what I like about this design is how wide the base is and how it's very solid until the mouse hits the breaking point. Then they get dropped down and they can't get back out. Every time they jump up and grab the lid, it just dunks them again. There are so many different mousetrap designs, and I love making working models of ones that I want to test out. Thank you so much for watching my videos, and thanks to all the viewers who are sending me art. I love seeing the pictures. If you haven't subscribed, please consider clicking that button. I've posted over 600 videos on YouTube, and currently I'm posting new videos every Monday and Friday. So if you want to see the best videos on how to catch mice, rats, squirrels, chipmunks, moles, voles, and gophers, stay tuned. Uh-oh, we broke it.